So, as we're coming to the end of 2020, it's a time when people typically look forward to a new year, and a new year is a time of reflection. It's a time of looking back and then looking forward. And it's a time when people make New Year's resolutions and New Year's intentions. So 2020's been a strange year. It's been a nightmare for a lot of people. We've been in lockdown, we've had the global pandemic, and it's caused people have lost their jobs, their businesses, and a lot of relationships have been put under a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of relationships have broken down. And there's been a lot of loneliness. We've missed contact with other people, and it's something that we've never been through, and it's caused a lot of reflection, and it's also a lot of confusion. Now, in times of confusion, it means confusion is really where the old way of doing things is broken down, and it's before you've rebuilt into a new way. And so 2021 is going to be a great time to form relationships. People have been cut off. People have had time to do a lot of reflection. People have been confronted by where they used to escape through not having to think about things. They've been brought to their fore so that they have to look at them. So it's a time when people are more open to being more vulnerable, to having more honest conversations, and to having deeper connections. And so if you're looking to be in a relationship, I think this is a great time to focus on finding the right partner, because now is when, well, first off, there's lots of people that have been in relationships that they realised weren't working, and suddenly, so there's going to be a lot of new people on dating apps. There's going to be a lot of people that have been very cut off and been realised that, like, living alone maybe isn't working for them. Maybe that they want companionship, and maybe where there was more superficiality and more hooking up, there's going to be more deeper conversations and more serious relationships. So it's been a wake-up call for a lot of people, and I think it's a great time to rebuild and restart, and this is a great time to form a relationship, because it's a shift in our society. And I think what's happened is there's a lot more people going to continue working remotely. There's more of a shift to online shopping, and yet equally there's more of a craving for connection, not necessarily working in the same office, but there's a need to connect to people more. So, okay, so what do we do? Like, if you're someone who's looking to build a relationship in 2021, what do you do? Well, there's four real key things. So it starts with you. So all relationships start with you. Like, how is your relationship with yourself? And the key performance indicator of that is, how are you feeling? Whenever you feel bad, everything in the world is going to look bad. So often people in relationships blame their partner. What's really going on is they're under stress. Things aren't going so well for them. They're feeling bad about themselves. And so what we do when we feel bad, we look at what's making us feel bad, and we create that narrative of what is the cause, what is the problem. And so depressed people are depressed because it's an illness, because it's a biochemical response, and yet we naturally look for, okay, what's making us depressed, and they'll blame their partner, and it may not be anything to do with their partner. And so people who are people who are in relationships who are feeling bad, and it may be something internally in themselves that they're feeling bad, but they've blamed the partner, they've left the relationship, and then they find that they still feel bad. And so it wasn't really the partner that was making them feel bad, it was their relationship with themselves. So whenever we feel bad, it means that there's a dissonance between the situation that we're in and our personal narrative about the situation. And so the obvious thing to change is the situation. And so everyone looks to change the situation, but sometimes you can't change the situation. And this is when people feel really down and they feel like despair. And despair is hating the situation you're in, but feeling powerless to change it. And often people feel like this with dating. They're like, I really want that relationship. I really want to find this partner for me. But I feel like online dating doesn't work. No one wants a relationship. Dating sites are shit. I'm stuck. The thing where you have the control is the narrative. And so, for example, the narrative with online dating, that narrative, for me, that narrative has to be wrong. First of all, there has never been as many single people as there are now. We've never had access to as many single people of whatever age range, whatever type, whatever personality, whatever sexuality, gender, whatever. There's never been more access to people. People fundamentally want a relationship. Research by Match.com, 95% of people put down that they want a long-term relationship. Some of them will be lying, but most of us, deep down, we want a long-term relationship. We might not believe that we can get it, and so we say, oh, I'm done with relationships. But most of us want that. So when you have these two things, that fundamentally people want a relationship, and there's more single people than there's ever been before, that tells us that our narrative can't be true. So let's start with the narrative that the opportunity is there. If we're not getting the results, it's because of what we're doing in dating. There are people, millions of people every year, who find their partner and have happy relationships from online dating. It's not that online dating doesn't work. It's that not all of us are using it effectively. So that leads us to the next thing is the operating system. What's the operating system that you're working from? So the operating system is the set of beliefs. It's your narratives about relationship. How do relationships work? And I've talked a lot about the difference between the 4 relationship truths and the fairy tale framework. And so I'm not going to go into detail about it here, just to say that if you want to have an effective relationship, then you need to be sure that you're working from the right basis. If you're operating from a flawed idea of relationships, then everything you're going to do is going to be from that misguided starting point, and so it's not going to work. So once we've gone from personal narratives to operating system, the next level is skills. If you're sending boring messages, you're not going to get replies. If you send boring messages, you have boring conversations. Boring conversations die out. You need to send. Dating is about, you have to give someone a taste of you. You have to become from a 2-dimensional profile a three-dimensional person so that someone connects to the humanity of you and you connect to the humanity of them. If you can't become three-dimensional and connect to their humanity, you become you just become a commodity to them. And so when they treat you as a commodity, it becomes transactional. What do I get? What do I get? And that's where you get all the behavior that makes people so frustrated and feel so bad about dating. So what are the skills that you need to learn? And dating really is mindset. So mindset in the sense of being motivated, being feeling good and positive about dating. Messaging, that how do you express yourself? How do you connect to someone? So you want to send messages that start conversations, have conversations that lead to dates, and dates that lead to relationships. And then the last part is picking the right match. And so they're the skills that you need to develop in online dating. So in building a relationship, the skills are yourself being your best self, finding the right partner, and building the right relationship. So those are the skills that you need to develop. And then the last point is the results that you get and the relationship that you get is not a reflection of what you know. It's a reflection of what you do. So you can read lots of books and develop your skills. And what that does is that makes you a percentage more competent. So if you are, let's say like you're 20% competent and you send lots of messages, then the amount of action that you do, the amount of messages, determines the number of replies and number of dates and things that you're going to get. But you could be 80% competent, but if you're only sending 5 messages a week, it's going to take you a long time to get enough response and enough activity for you to get the result that you want. So it's the quality of your dating skills times by your action. So it's what we do that determines the future that we have and the results that we get. And what we do is essentially a function of our habits. So we have to look at what do we have to do to be successful in dating. So what do we have to do? We have to send messages, look at profiles, send quality messages, have conversations, have dates, and so that's really the habits that we need to be in. And so some people go, and dating sites are like social media, that they're designed to be addictive. And so some people will just go on there and become consumed. But you need to be deliberate, and you need to be, okay, I'm going to send this many messages a day. This is when I do dating. And you just treat it like a project, and you develop that habit. So in order to make 2021 the year when you make relationships work, you need to look at your personal narrative, your relationship operating system, your dating skills, and your habits. And if you do all of those 4 things, then your success is almost guaranteed. You see, the problem is that people are looking for success. People are looking for the partner before they feel that they've achieved it. Now, that's what we call a lagging indicator. So when people are looking for performance metrics, there's lagging indicators and leading indicators. And the lagging indicator is when you have the partner and you have the relationship. So many people are waiting, like they feel despondent until they get the result. But actually, we need to look at the leading indicators. And the leading indicators are, how do I feel? How many messages am I sending? How many conversations am I having? How many dates am I having? And so if you look at those metrics and keep a track of those, that's what's going to lead to your success. But success comes after action, not before. And so many people are looking for the success to come before they have the belief. So if you're looking to make 2021 the year when you finally work out relationships, I want to tell you about the Relational Mastery System. So I'm launching in January 2021 the Relational Mastery System, and that is the complete step-by-step process of everything that you do to be your best self, to find the right partner, and to build the right relationship. And if you're not ready for the complete system, then I've broken off a fraction of that, and a fragment of that is the Start Dating Right. And Start Dating Right is the 80-20 of dating. So the 80-20 rule is that 80% of your success comes from 20% of your effort. And the 80-20 of dating is messaging, in what you put in your profile, how you portray yourself, and what you put in messages is 80% of the success of online dating. So there's Start Dating Right and the Relational Mastery System that are there if you want some support to make sure that in 2021 is the year when you finally crack relationships.